Hello, I'm Triggers, and after adding hot and cold variants to each of the 3 major farm mobs that Minecraft have, a lot of people were theorizing that this would next come to the sheep, and those people were right. Minecraft now has new sheep variants based on where they spawn in the world, and if you'd like to see them, this is the temperate sheep. You might know and love it well, but this is what the sheep will look like when it spawns in a cold biome. Wow, look at that! He's got a very different coloured wool, and this is the sheep from the desert. This might sound like sarcasm, but it's actually a very good thing, because now there are rare variants you can find in each of these places that have sheep colors we couldn't previously find in Minecraft. We also have a brand new mob spawning in the desert which didn't exist there, and a whole bunch of changes they've made to the Wandering Trader and the trades in general, because the villager trade rebalance has officially been added, just all of the good bits and none of the bad bits. Let's talk about exactly what we mean by that, because this is a brand new beta and preview for Bedrock, and it contains a lot of great stuff, so subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the latest Minecraft news, because let's go into what has changed today. Because we'll start with what sounds like for many people the scariest part of this update, because it says on the changelog here that they integrated the villager trade rebalance experiment changes to the cartographer and the wandering trader. This sounds terrifying because men in the community specifically fought against this, not liking that villagers would change based on their biome, but it's actually really good news when it comes to the cartographer, because this allows us to access new items. So right now, if you want to, just by getting to level 2, you can find a brand new type of map right here, in this case a tiger village map. Why does the tiger biome point me to a tiger village? I don't know, but we can also buy a plains village map, and that means that now you'll be able to find a map which will take you to a brand new biome. In fact, what's really cool about this is it won't just point you to a plains biome, it will point you to one that you've never loaded in your world before, based on the Trial Explorer map, which is really fun. In fact, if you're wondering as to how I found this tiger village to begin with, it was actually using one of these same maps. So there are 7 of these maps available, one for each of the 5 villages, and then there's an interesting couple of extra ones for the biomes that don't have villages, those being the swamp and the jungles, because there are jungle villagers, but no jungle villages. While you wondered that, let's talk about the Wandering Trader, because he's had a series of changes which are actually very exciting. And yes, this is a very normal number of Wandering Traders to have, but it's important so I can show you some of the micro changes, such as the fact that there are 3 brand new items. You can now buy logs from the Wandering Trader, sometimes. You can buy the Potion of Invisibility from the Trader, sometimes. And also, you can buy enchanted iron pickaxes. These are useful trades, I guess you could say. There's also better prices on a lot of the trades that he already has, and even more excitingly is the fact that the Wandering Trader will now always sell you things. So, or rather, will sell you emeralds or buy things from you is the correct way to put that, which is great because it doesn't just mean we can fix our trading deficit. For too long I've been sending too much money to him and he's been sending no money back. I was considering building a wall or implying tariffs, but you know, we don't need to do that anymore, because now all we have to do is sell him the things we want. This is actually really crucial because it means that with one particular rare trade, the milk bucket, you'll now officially be able to do challenges in a much more fun way. So if you can get a bucket of milk, which you actually can from the Wandering Trader himself, by killing him at just the right time, you'll be able to play Super Flat Survival without a bonus chest. You would be absolutely insane to do this, of course, and so, you know, I've been very tempted is what I'm saying. And so yeah, in the spring drop, this will now be possible, alongside a whole host of different small changes they've made to make the Wandering Trader just a better partner in general. What an awesome update. And now that we're here in the Savannah biome, it's probably time that I answer the question of what happens when you get a jungle map or a swamp explorer map. So let me turn this man into a cartographer. Hopefully he'll actually do. You know, what job site are you seeing if not these cartography tables, friends? But yeah, the interesting thing, I guess there's no beds nearby and that's why they're not trading. Okay, there we go. We now have a Jungle Explorer map, and do you know where this will lead you when you go to it? That's right, the Jungle Temple now has its own map. This is so cool, because not only will this function as a map to a jungle, something I think a lot of people would actually value by itself, but also it will function as a map to a jungle temple, so you get kind of a 2-for-1 deal there. Similarly, the Swamp Explorer map will point you to a witch hut. This is really fun, because actually, even using commands in creative, you can't specifically look for one of these 2 structures. There's just one temple, which includes the desert, the jungle, and the swamp temple. Yes, this is a swamp temple, don't ask me why. So it's really cool to see that they're finally adding a way to specifically look for one of these 2 things, and they're doing it in survival awful ways. However, my nitpick here is, even though Minecraft have done a great job by implementing these changes, almost a year after they were first added, Why couldn't they have fixed the map icon? Most players don't know if you're in the top right of the map which way you have to go. The arrow was in Bedrock before. They've removed it without any official notice on a changelog, and it's now been a year and we've had a whole extra map update, and a Windows update apparently. We've had all of this and still nothing? Come on. Once I made it to that jungle, or any warm biome, I would notice that my sheep colour had started to change. And again, this is something that I'll just have to concede I rolled my eyes at when it first came out, but actually it's pretty darn cool, and let me tell you why. In current Minecraft, you can only find about 5 colours of sheep, black, grey, light grey, brown, as well as pink, and then I guess if you count white as a colour. But then interestingly, it means that if you want to have any other type of sheep, you have to dye it yourself. After this update, the type of sheep you get will depend on the biome you're in, so when you're in the temperate biomes, that is to say normal biomes, the plains biomes, etc., you'll find sheep which are largely going to be white, but sometimes they'll be, I hope this is a plains biome, they're mostly going to be white, but sometimes, uncommonly, they'll be black or light grey or brown, or you've still got that very rare chance for a pink sheep to spawn. But if you're in a cold biome, then the common sheep colour is black, there's an uncommon chance of light grey, light blue, blue or cyan, and still a rare chance for a pink sheep to spawn, and then if you're in a warm biome, you have the brown sheep being your default, but you can also sometimes get grey or yellow. I really think yellow is super vibrant, and also you can sometimes get your hands on a red sheep too, just like we have here, which is really, really fun, especially with the new breeding changes, which will lead to yellow and red being able to make orange together. I love the fact that you'll be able to find more of these sheep naturally, and it just means that your world will get a little bit more colourful. Now, am I bummed that they didn't go for super cool changes to the model itself to actually make 3 types of sheep? A part of me says yes, but another part of me says no. I have been saying all along, Minecraft need to have actual changes rather than just reskins, and this is actually a change. There is a new type of sheep in each biome, and so actually, this is awesome. I think this is better than the pig and the chicken and the fifth cow ultimately, because those mobs do nothing different, whereas there is an actual gameplay benefit, being that if you kill or shear these mobs, you'll get something different based on the biome, and they managed to do that while preserving the pink sheep being a rare part of Minecraft history, something I love. By the way, something else I love is that if you go to a desert, you no longer have to find a village to find a camel, they will just naturally spawn in the desert itself. Will we find one right here? I kept getting them in the intro when I specifically wasn't looking for them, but yeah, you can find them naturally in the desert without having to spawn them. Very, very lovely, and they've also made a whole host of other smaller changes, which are worth mentioning. So, as quickly as possible, let me show you what they are. So first of all, we have the bush. The bush can now officially be snow-logged. This is a fun Bedrock feature that allows you to do things like this. You can snow-log them to any degree if you want to, and the same is also true for the firefly bush. If you place one of these down, you'll be able to put snow directly onto it, which is a really, really nice touch. But yeah, the bush also has the fun ability of being able to be replaced by other blocks. So if I place a farmland block here, instead of placing it on the side, like it would for a real block, you know, if I was going to place a farmland here, it places it on the side of the grass. It'll also do it for the side of the firefly bush, because this is a valuable block, but the bushes seem to be such a low piece of garbage that you're just going to be placing it on top of, obviously, like you would with grass. This is a fun change, and actually is pretty useful. They've done something similar with leaf litter, but yeah, at the exact same time, they've changed. So farmland, a creative block in Bedrock, by the way, just accessible from the menu, you can now place cactus flowers directly onto them. Obviously, this looks very weird, because you can see right here that there is a little bit of a gap there, but Minecraft have decided this is worth having anyway, and so I guess that's nice. They've also tweaked the way the firefly bush spawns in the world naturally. They've lowered the chance of them attempting to be placed by water. They are now less likely to spawn right on the edge here, and also they will spawn in groups of 2 to 5 now, which is very, very interesting. Also, there are some fun bug fixes, the most interesting of which is that pufferfishes will now officially fight not just players and hostile mobs like they had before, but they'll also fight the axolotl, and so just watch out if you have a friend and you have a lot of these around your world. They will now inflate and poison and attack, which is scary if you don't like being attacked, I guess. What a weird opinion that would be, though. I love me some pufferfish. Didn't realize you could do this to yourself in creative. Anyway, now it's time to talk about the most exciting part of this drop on Bedrock today, because what's interesting is, despite labeling a section of the changelog experimental, something very interesting has been done to the experimental toggle for Drop 1 2025. This was the kind of canary in the coal mine, if you will, because if the entire update comes out and it's still behind a toggle, we know that the next update, 1.2170, could not be the spring drop. However, if we go to create a new world and want to turn on that toggle, like we've had to before every update before now, and still do on Java, then if you want to go here, there's no longer a Drop 1 2025 toggle. This tells us that the update is officially planned to be part of 1.21.70, which is great news for anyone who was worried that this update might last all the way until the end of spring. It will be coming out a lot sooner, which then raises two more questions. How is the update going so far? And also, what is Minecraft doing with their marketing for it? Because genuinely, what is this update called? You might think you know it is the spring drop, but even then a lot of people thought that the update that came out yesterday was the spring drop, and so basically Minecraft has a marketing issue. But first things first, let's talk about secret features, a segment that I don't expect to plan into these news videos, but more and more has been happening on Bedrock. So the Bedrock changelog was really weird this week. They typoed Enderman, which is fine, they're human, but also they changed it later to add the banners to it, which is very, very strange because those banners, or rather this map to the cartographer, which is strange because they reference banners coming to cartographers, which is great, but on Bedrock there's no link between banners and maps right now, making it a very illogical trade, and I'm just saying it's super, super strange. But yeah, what I also think is interesting is the fact that they have a secret feature not referenced anywhere on the changelog, not even now that it's been updated, and that is the mushroom having a new texture. Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that as a community we were expecting this, I don't think anyone would know this, but look, the mushroom has a snout like the cow, and the mushroom has an updated texture, also just like the cow. Wow, a fun secret feature. Also, a couple of other features that I didn't mention in this video, but I think are cool. The bundles will now potentially spawn in village chests. This is a big deal, I think, at the very least. And also, it relates to pause, which hopefully will be part of this update, because the last time they took a feature out of an update at the very last minute, without warning anybody, was with the keep inventory being enabled for peaceful and for easy. So again, I think Minecraft needs to be better at communicating these things personally. But yeah, hopefully pause isn't in the same category. Hopefully it's just coming in this next update. But right now we don't know if it will be part of 1.21.70, which is the only name we have for the next drop so far. Because yeah, the big two questions to ask at this point, I think it is fair to say, is this actually a good update? And also, what is this update? So first of all, I want to answer what is this update, because that's the easier question. Minecraft does have the confusing thing of drops, releases, and updates. This is going to be a drop, i.e. it's going to be about 3-ish months of development time, a little bit less than, and it's going to have a small theme. The name of that theme we don't know, but clearly it's based around the overworld, and the name of the update we also don't know. But yeah, the fact that you have to call a drop an update is confusing. The fact that people got it mixed up with the minor major release yesterday, 1.21.60, kind of shows that there's a bit of confusion here, and a bit of confusion which could be easily solved if Minecraft just commits to not having drops be their own little subversions. 1.21.70 being a spring drop sounds really great, but just call it 1.22. In the same way that 1.9, or indeed in the title update days, it just had a simple name, 1.22 would be so much easier for name. Sure, not all updates have to be the same size, but now it's going to be so confusing for people knowing the difference between 1.21.5, 1.21.4, and 1.21.3, or on the Bedrock side especially, what are the names of the major updates? How is anyone ever going to remember this? I think we're making a lot of long-term sacrifice for I don't even think any short-term gain, and it kind of reminds me of the Minecon situation. What is it called when there's a Minecraft convention in, Minecon, you might say, except there's some Minecons that were held digitally only, and then they changed it to Minecraft Live, and then they made the Minecons in person Minecraft Festivals. Then they didn't launch any Minecraft Festivals, and so the closest thing we have is now called Minecraft Experience. By the way, I just booked tickets. I'll be there on the very first day that it's around in the afternoon, if you're curious. But yeah, the fact is that, Minecraft Experience is a, Minecon-like event, but why do we need a billion names for everything? Well, for events, I could see them having commercial branding issues, but for updates versus drops, they've done this to themselves, and I honestly do not know why. If I am leveling with you, I can't give you a good reason. But yeah, if we go for a little fly, which looks very strange when you're a ghast, by the way, Don't understand it at all. Let's talk about my opinion on this update now, because even though I think that Mojang's done a really weird job marketing it, I think that this is probably one of the more liked updates out there, but I think it gets weirder and weirder as we go. Personally, I like that they've added sheep by actually being unique for each biome, but it feels oddly inconsistent with the other ones, right? The only argument you have for having purely aesthetic differences for the other mobs are like realism, but then the realism argument goes away for sheep because not only have we had pink sheep since forever, but also blue sheep and orange sheep aren't natural colors. The new sheep variants are less realistic than the old ones, and so what value do they provide? I would argue it's in the gameplay, but then where is the gameplay value for any of the other things? I just personally think they need to do something with these new mob variants in the same way that they've done something with the cartographers, they've done something with the Wandering Trader, they've added a lot of gameplay value to lots of parts of this update. Why can't we do the same with those? That is my big question that I'd like to leave you with today, and if you're curious as to why I am aghast, I guess I could explain that for some reason, I have to make these beta videos on my Xbox. The PC gets betas way later than anywhere else, and yeah, for some reason my Toy Cat skin is just not here. Why is that the case? Why is anything the case when it comes to last-gen consoles? You'll never have a good answer from me, that's for sure. Anyway, with that said, I hope that you found this video to be useful, and if you did, then make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with more Minecraft news, because it seems like, it's cool that we got this one on Bedrock first. I don't think that's going to happen a lot, but it's great because we've had a big run of only having snapshots and then having to wait a day for Bedrock. So it's cool that they did release the Bedrock beta, even if the Java snapshot wasn't ready. I like that personally, but what do you think? Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.